it's 30 minutes before the close, and we didn't have a heck of a lot going on today in these accounts, but we're going to go down through. It looks like we're long DGX, MSB, and UNB. Looks like we sold since this morning SWM and MDC. We sold RJF on 2 separate accounts, so we'll log those in here. I think those were this morning, if I'm not mistaken. And MDC and SWM right in the mix. So no dividends today. Looks like a profit of $13.34. Light day. Not a heck of a lot going on a hump day, but it is the end of the month, so maybe tomorrow it takes off, maybe it goes down. We don't know. We don't care. But we're just looking around, see what's actually happening. Let's go over here to Mosaic and see if anything's actually flying. Doesn't really look like it. I'll look for the stuff that's up substantially or down substantially. Anything over $1 we'll take a look at so we don't waste too much time. There's that MDC we closed out on. RJF, closed out on that one. On the downside, looks like we got AXP, which is American Express, FRT, another dollar, another bank. Travelers Insurance, not sure what that is, PRK. Overall, the account's a positive unrealized gain of 175, but that's just constantly fluctuating. Remember not to get the two mixed up, unrealized and realized. Today we've realized 1337. We've taken no losses. So we didn't realize any losses. It may show us down in this particular account for 4,500, but that doesn't mean anything. It only means something when you take a loss. But we don't take losses, so we're good. We just try to keep that out of our vocabulary. We'll take a look. And not a lot of movement at all today. I guess everybody's just kind of wait and see. You just never know. Institutions drive this market. It's not you and me. Big money is what plays. But we like taking those dividends. We like taking that money out of the market. Just like a little pinprick in the side of a wet bag. Just drain it out slowly. If you want to get yourself noticed, start trading in big lots. They'll come after you. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. Morgan Stanley. Seems like the bank stocks are moving a little bit today. Not that we worry about it, just interesting to note. PNC is another one. PIMCO, Income Opportunity Fund. We do trade a lot of PIMCO products. Always been a good company to pay decent dividends. 2.6 on a 178.39. It's not too bad. R is rider. Everybody knows what riders are if you do any type of moving. Or what's that other stuff? The big rigs. They do that kind of stuff. Don't really care as long as they pay dividends. As long as they're making money, I'm happy. If they're making money, you're making money if you're a shareholder. That's all you got to really know. Because by the time they release information that is detrimental, saying, "Oh, we got to stop paying dividends," it's too late. You know, they've already sold off everything that they've got, or they're just going to sit tight and wait for the dividends to come back. I was talking about Boeing the other day. They hadn't paid dividends in a long time, but we were able to get out later on down the road and still collect what the original amount was, even though they weren't paying the dividends. We don't have a position in it anymore, but stock price sure is high, but I'm not interested in owning it. Not until they start paying again. They probably will. I mean, they just get like 100 planes. Somebody just ordered 100 planes. Who knows who that was, or maybe it was a combination of people. Gave everybody a deal. Were they like $50 million a piece? So you can add that up pretty quick. $1 billion, $5, $6 billion, $50 billion, who knows? They can afford those dividends. Art of China was getting close there. SLG, Green Realty. Kind of wonder what's going to happen in the home market. Guess is as good as mine. It can go up, it can go down, it can stay the same. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all you have to do. You come home, or you got your phone on you at work if they let you keep them. You get an order, say, "Oh, you just made a little bit of money there," and you just had 2 buys. The only thing you'd have to do tonight would be to put a closing order in on DGX and closing order on MSB. And you have multiple accounts. You just look at your next account. Say, well, we didn't trade anything there because that's the 30th. Go over to another account. Get back into where we can look at the trades. And it looked like we had 3 sells and 1 buy. So UNB. Put your closing order in for UNB. I mean, you could have done that any time during the day, but if you understand the apps that connect to your accounts, it's not rocket science. So today's a slow day, and people scoff. I hear it all the time. It's like, "Oh, you made a whopping $13." It's like, yeah, but I didn't lose any money for almost a year. Well, another 50 days will be a year, and we just keep adding to our total. So if we don't sell anything else before the end of this trading day, that'll be the end of the month. And let me look at see. What do we end up with there? 1337. Okay, bring this down. All right. So there's a chart. Let's just update this. Update this. And we'll update this one. And that one. All right. So let's see, make sure that that's right. Yep. Okay, so if we have nothing else today, we can still change this and it'll change that. But you can see that just our trading alone come to 949 and look like 687 on dividends. Now that's cumulative total for 3 accounts, right? But divided by 3, and if you had say $30,000-$40,000, that's what you can be making. Divide that, make it easy on yourself. Bring it up to 1,800, $600 a month, right? So you can figure that out pretty quick what you're making in dividends. Obviously, you want to keep yourself under control. Take no losses, and this just keeps growing. So each of these accounts has not taken a loss. That is what you want to be seeing every month. And we're going to copy all this information over and start a new one so we can go back and look at it and then say, okay, this is what we're doing per month. And you can look back, take a picture of this, right? And then at the end of like tomorrow, everything will be up to date and we can say, okay, which part of this did the smallest account make? Right? So it's going to be a smaller percentage, obviously, but we'll take a look and see and post it just so we're transparent. If you're interested in knowing more about this, we're showing it live so you can understand this. If you want to understand it more, you just order yourself a scan. That'll give you the weekly stocks that we trade. Then you can either follow along or you can, go after it however you want. But this is all about money management. And within that scan, on Fridays I go down through exactly how you use the scans, because the scan's only good for a week, and then you'll figure it out. You're not going to know which ones are on there unless you order it. But that's what we do, and we're just showing you what we can do, and you can go from there. Pretty simple and straightforward. But we didn't hit everything on the scan. There was 109 on the scan this week. And majority of them didn't hit, but that's a good thing. We don't want, well, I'm not saying we don't want it, but this market was pretty much up. So I'm normally, my strategy, there's 3 or 4, well, let's say it's more than that. There's about 6 to 8 different strategies that you can use with the scan, and it's all up to you. So you figure out what stocks you want to pick and how you want to trade them, But the main thing is that you're looking to protect yourself by using the max shares. If you don't use the max shares, you're going to get yourself into trouble. What I'm saying is you use a percentage of the max shares. And we're putting together an ebook so everybody can figure that out. And once you get that system down, you won't make the mistakes and you'll continually grow your money. So on larger accounts, it's just a scaling thing. So if you've got $500,000, just send me an email, and once we get the book together, we'll send send the ebooks out. I have any idea what we're going to charge for the ebook, because it's basically just a guide, so you can figure out what you're doing. And you just have to understand that yes, there's risk in the market, but you can bring that risk down to a manageable level where you're always got positive cash flow. So based on this chart right here, what we just were talking about, let me bring it back over here. If you get this, if you understand what's going on here, let's just say the market crashes. So we take this whole column, right, and we get rid of it. This is what you're bringing in, right? This whole column right here, the dividend column, right? That amount right there, 687.98. That's what you would have brought in had the market crash. We're just using hypotheticals here.
So you're not selling anything. That's not to say that you won't. I'm just saying, let's just say you never sell anything. So you're stuck with all of these. Well, you're going to be making dividends. That's what you make. This is not rocket science, but the bigger your account, the more money that you're going to make. That's just the way it is. That's why Warren Buffett can make $150 million a quarter off of Coke. That's a small percentage of his portfolio. So it took him time to get up to that point. You want to call it lucky, conspiracy theory, whatever you want. But this is what they do. Everybody wants to try to be Warren Buffett, but they don't have the patience. They don't have the mentality for it. You just got to stay on top of it. It's not hard. Once you actually start to see it, you'll never trade another way. Hey, everybody likes to buy that lottery ticket, spend that $2. It's $750 million. $750 million to 1 is the odds. Stock market, 50-50. I keep saying that, and people just laugh, and they're like, oh, you're going to lose money in the market. I said, well, we'll be 300 days tomorrow without a loss. I can't remember what the stretch was last time. I'd have to go back and look. But when this market takes a dive, hey, we might take a loss. Some company might go out of business. But we're going to have such a small amount in there, it's not going to hurt our portfolio. What's the largest one we have here? $4,500. That's SLVO. Right? It's paying 35.9%. There it is. So you'd have to have quite a few of these go at EVV. That's paying us a good 9.5%. You realize that at 10%, it's roughly 7 years to double your money. So if this has been in this account, we'd have to go back and look, right? Some of these have been there a while. You can tell because the max shares has been reached. It's constantly fluctuating. Obviously, this is kind of a newbie here, COF. Bank stocks were down for a long time, but we had cashed out. I don't even remember what years it was that we owned those before. It's been so long. But now the bank stocks are coming back. So you see this stuff because you're involved in it. BGH, that's been in the account a while. These are kind of mid-range. Just depends on what the max shares are. You just have to look at one on an individual basis. But I can tell, like this one here, based on the price and everything else, it's been in the account a while. It's down $1,291, unrealized, right? But all you have to do is look over here, 9.8%. I know for a fact that that's been in for at least 15 years in this account. So it's already paid for itself through dividends. It's continued to pay $1.20. What's it paying per year? 154 times $1.20. So 184.80 a year, right? So you take that, just make it 185 for a round number. 3176 divided by 185. So 17 years. Is that right? What did I do wrong there? 3176. Oh, how about I do it the right way? 154 multiplied by $1.20. Oh yeah, 185. So 3176 divided by 185. Yeah, 17. 17 years. So it obviously paid more at one time. But either way, this unrealized profit and loss, you only realize this when you sell something. You either sell it for a loss or you sell it for a gain. One, two things. I mean, you can sell it for even, I'm sure, and you still wouldn't have a loss, but we're not getting rid of any of these because they're all paying dividends. Now, this one down here is not paying dividends, BPT. So this one here could go out of business, right? We lose $380, and we would show that if you know, we didn't make $380 on the day, right? Because that would be even. But I think it's hard to understand. A lot of people, it's just outside their depth, and they don't understand numbers. So this is like a really poor performing stock, right? But we don't get rid of it just for the hell of getting rid of it. We don't know if that sucker can come back up and then pay us back, and we get over zero and we get our money back. You know, it paid dividends at one time because we know that we only invest in dividend paying stocks. Here's another one, CHKR. Well, it's still paying dividends, but it's like 5 cents. 5 cents on 600, so it's $30 a year. Take a long time to, you know, pay that off, but we've had it for so long in there, it's hard to let go. What did we pay for that? 576. Now it's at 36 cents. So I'm pointing out all the losers in here, you know, like if those, like Crater, here's another one, HGTUX. It was a oil company, Hugoton oil thing. I think that thing was down in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. But it stopped paying dividends. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. This thing could come back, right? It could go back up to $10, and guess what? You get your $3,100 back. You didn't make any dividends the whole time, but you didn't sell it at a loss. Now, if it goes away, yeah, we take a loss, right? It's done. It's over with. But back in the day, we know it was paying dividends. We knew it was in the account for a long time. So to get to 348 shares, that must have meant at max shares, I don't know what it was. Let's just say it was 350. We had to have at least 10 occurrences, right? Because we only buy 10% at a time. So it took a while to get to that point. So meanwhile, it was making dividends. At some point, it stopped paying dividends, and then we got out. But that's the way the system works. So you're constantly, you make your money. Maybe you didn't get paid that full amount, the 31.18. Maybe you made half. Maybe you made a quarter. You didn't lose the full amount, is what I'm trying to say. Meanwhile, your account keeps on growing. Remember, if this 3,073 goes away, it subtracts from this. Now you're down to 13,000 on the negative, right? Because then it becomes a realized loss if it was to just go under. But for some reason, they just kind of sit around. You just leave it in there. I've seen them come back. Boeing's a great example. Stop paying dividends. Let's see where that's at. Go to Boeing BA. Wish I had that on where you could see it, but yeah, so I remember it being way back up. It was up here. I think we paid somewhere in the 300 range. It came down, and we cashed out somewhere up in here, and it came down, went back up, but it's not paying any dividends. But the whole time we held on to it, it came back. You know, went all the way down to 140, and we had like 250, or maybe it was the 270. Maybe it was over here. I don't remember. I think it was back over here because it's been a while. We hadn't looked at it in a long time. It won't come up on our scans because it doesn't pay dividends. Yeah, I bet you it does in the future, though. It's showing none. You have to go back a couple of years. You can look at some charts and see when it was, but I'm not. I don't care. I'm not going to waste my time on the past. I look to the future. So this one keeps on inching up. That's what I say about the CEFs. They're consistent pairs. You know, we got 149 shares of that, and it's 162. So we could buy some more if it dropped below this green line and either came up on the scan. Well, in this case, it would have to come down here to this line before we can buy 1410. That's just a rule, right? The CLM, another one, just keeps inching on up. Same thing. It's got to come down here. And see, max shares are 172. It's at 156. You just never know. If it comes down, I mean, we're just going to make dividends for the next 50 years or until I die. It doesn't matter. It's just going to keep on paying.
Yeah, if it goes away, you buy something else. Something else is going to pay dividends. If they all stop paying dividends, that's when I'd start to worry. Otherwise, you just wait for the market to come back. If you think the market's going under, then go hide your money in the backyard, because they're going to do away with cash. That's coming. Just a matter of time. I think it's going to be a really fast and quick thing. We hardly use cash anymore. I mean, how many people have credit cards? Once you actually get your stuff on your phone, Apple Pay type stuff, yeah, you'll see cash go away. Nothing you can do to stop it. You can cry all you want. Just pay what you owe. You know, if they want to take 90%, that's when we got a problem. But there's so much money out there now. Stuff's going to start getting expensive. Just because they pump so much money in, but how expensive? I mean, meat's gotten expensive. Gas isn't really that expensive. If you drive a lot, yeah, it's expensive. If you don't drive much, it doesn't really matter. Kind of an interesting progression that we're going in. Everybody's worried about miles per gallon on their car. It's like, well, oh, get a little alert going on NINGR. I think it's just a little bit of a pullback, but let's see. Yeah, we've had that again. So we're going to, just before the close too, make me work. I'll go look here, INGR. Let's see what's happening. Well, it came down pretty hard. 22. Yeah, we'll do it again. What's the max shares on that? 18. We'll go 2. Buy 2. Now this is a trailing stop that I'm putting in. All right. I like to buy stuff on the pullback. So we're going to go 236. This order's good forever. Well, good till canceled. I mean, it could possibly time out. It's usually about 60 days, but it'll probably activate before then. But like, look at the market drops tomorrow, and I got all those trailings in there, right? Let's see how many we got. Trailing stops. We got 1 USO, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 on that account. Nope, wrong one. 4 on that account, and let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 on that account. We got 8 trailing stops working right now. So the market's been more up than it's been down the last 3 days, which doesn't make a hill of beans to me, but it just kind of gives you an idea where stuff is headed. You can see where 1 or 2 stocks get a little weak, and you can take advantage of that move down, you know. But you have to stick with your rules. If you don't stick with your rules, you're going to get hurt. Yep, fixing to close on the day. Looks good. INGR. Really not that much movement at all today. I mean, it looks like it was a positive day, but nothing really moved. It's interesting how silver kind of jumped up off the bottom there.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Oh, those
Order cancelled.
expired. See here? That's interesting to watch. So we'll have to go put those ones back in because they expired. Which is cool. Doesn't mean anything. You just go back in there and reset them. We'll do that tomorrow. I got stuff to do. And I wanted to change something here, but yeah, that's all right. Got that little voice going there. Yeah, MSB. That's one we just bought today. I was like, it was moving hard. But yep, nice light day. Ended up on the 31st. Looks like 1637.47 to the positive. But we'll post all that stuff, and we'll see you in the morning.